Hello, everybody. My name is Billy Strasser, and I will be your professor for the summer session online Intermediate 1 class. Now, online is awesome, and it lacks one thing that I really miss, and that's that interaction with students. The best we can do is really Zoom sessions because it is an online course. And so I want to have a lot where my face is in your face because I feel like one of the worst things that happens in online is that we lose that face-to-face connection. We lose that humanization, and we need to humanize each other, students and professors, so that we keep that shared goal of this course, learning the concepts, mastering what you need to know in order to be proficient and move along into the next course. Okay. I know I'm dealing here with a group of accountants and bankers and finance students, right? So we got a wide array to deal with. I want to meet each of you as much as I can. I do have personal individual meetings that I want you guys to do as a part of your grade in the first week, just so we can kind of break the ice and hopefully get you more compelled to reach out and communicate with me because I know it can be a little daunting, even face to face. But when you don't even see my face, then you don't know who I am and you don't know my personality, then it might be a little more intimidating, or I might come off not so great. All right, so let's talk about the course. I'll introduce myself and the course and big ideas to you. And then in another video follow up, we'll talk about the syllabus in detail. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint here. So, Intermediate 1, Accounting 3313 at Sam Houston, is a notoriously difficult course. Across the nation, this is a tough course. For accountants and finance and banking students alike, it will be probably one of the toughest courses you take in your curriculum, right? Which again is just so important to understand. Let's get together. Let's try to figure out how we're going to get you to understand these concepts so that you can get a passing grade and get through this course, right? So a little bit about me first. I'm a Texan by birth. I was born in Bryan College Station, just down the road from Huntsville. Grew up there, lived there till I was 18, then went off to college. And we'll talk a little bit about my education from there. I did not go to A&M as an undergrad, which was a big scandal in my family. Um, After I finished my education, I went straight through the PhD program, ended up with a job placement in Colorado, and I taught at the Denver, Colorado, University of Colorado, Denver for 10 years. Also taught at the Boulder campus one summer. And then eventually felt that call to be back in Texas. And then the weather smacked me and said, "Why are you coming back here?" But I moved back to Texas, or we moved back to Texas in 2019 in the fall. And then COVID hit, which wasn't the most warm reception we've had. But we're back here. We're loving it. We're getting used to the heat again, even though the summers are atrocious and there's better ways of living, I assure you. My work experience. So I've taught in terms of my academic experience. I taught courses at A&M, University of Colorado, Denver, and Boulder, and also Sam Houston. I've taught intro to financial accounting. I've taught intermediate 1, intermediate 2. I've taught advanced accounting. I've taught financial statement analysis. So basically, anything in the realm of financial reporting is something that I've taught and enjoy teaching. My education, my first degree, came from the University of Texas at Austin, which was a big deal because my five brothers and sisters before me all went to A&M. My dad was a professor at A&M. There was heavy bribery going on my senior year in high school trying to get me to go to A&M, but I stood tall and firm and said, "Hell no, I want to move somewhere and go to college." I did not want to stay in my hometown and go to college. So I went to UT Austin, one of the best decisions I think I've made. Um, it gave me some freedom to explore. I did not know exactly what I wanted to do going into college. I majored in numerous things and then finally ended up with a degree in economics. Well, couldn't do much with economics. So in my master's, I decided this is when my dad pulled me back in and said, "Hey, why don't you do accounting?" It was a family practice. My five siblings all got their undergraduate degrees in accounting. I did economics. But now I'm here doing a master's in accounting, feeling like just a cog in the machine, right? Just couldn't escape the family business. Anyway, before I had a chance to really like peruse internship opportunities with firms or think about applying to take the CPA exam, I was pulled aside by a professor there who really opened my eyes to how a different way of being an accounting professor than I had known. There are four, including my dad, accounting professors in the family, excluding me, my oldest brother, the middle brother, and my oldest sister are all accounting professors. One of them works at Sam with me. So if you have another Strasser, it's not me. That's my brother. He's the older brother. Make sure you make him well aware of that. Um, it just goes to show you never know when you're going to meet someone that could totally turn your perspective. Because even as a master's student, I wasn't sold on being a professor. Even though as a master's student of accounting, I still wasn't necessarily going to go in my family's footsteps until I talked with her. She became a co-chair on my dissertation and got me to where I am today. In terms of research, all tenure track professors are required to do research as part of their job responsibilities. And mine really focuses on that intersection between accounting and finance, which is financial accounting, what I teach, right? I like to see whether new disclosures, changes in disclosures, whether those change valuations for companies or investor trading activity. I like to look at how this affects loan decisions by banks and other entities that lend money. So there's a lot to be explored there that I do in my research. I also have some papers that look at how students learn accounting and how to help students perform and learn accounting more efficiently, especially in intermediate, because this is just, as I mentioned, a nationwide course that students tend to feel is very difficult outside of school, right? Because we all got a life, right? I have some hobbies I love. So the first I list is weightlifting, and this one came later in life. My older 20s, probably 28, 29, after way too many trips and panic attacks in the emergency room, thinking I was having a heart attack because I was overweight and inactive and well on my way to being a pre-diabetic. I just had a realization that I think there's a better way to live. I mention it because I never thought I'd be that guy who goes to the gym 5 days a week and gets anxious on his rest days because he's not at the gym one day. Never was going to be that guy, but I am today. We can make changes. If academics was not your thing, that doesn't mean you can't make it your thing. Now, there's a big asterisk here. You gotta want it. You gotta want it bad because you gotta invest time and energy. That's going to be a requirement, right? We do not change easily as humans. It requires a lot of drive and dedication to make that change happen. But I'm here for it, and I'm here to help it happen if you're willing to put in some work too. Pups, dogs are my children, far more grateful, far less expensive, and just an overall joy to be around. Little souls of unconditional love on this planet that I have not seen a better representation of. I like cats too, but not quite as much. So I'm definitely a dog person. The next three, camping, fishing, four-wheeling. Oh man. I start seeing Colorado. Like this is where I was able to go buck wild with those and just be in a different world. Um, hopefully one day I'll get over the heat stroke of Texas and readapt to my climate of origin. But for now, I think about fishing in the summer and I'm thinking, dear God, it's hot out there. And if it weren't for the humidity, yeah, just that damn humidity. Anyway, I miss the 90 degrees summer of Colorado. Writing and reading, so important. If you have a professor that's not into writing or reading, get out. These are, to me, the gateways of knowledge, discovery, and curiosity. Meditation, it was a spiritual awakening for me, just to be focused and mindful of the present, not dwell in the past or the future, but just be here now and take advantage of life as it's unfolding. Travel, love traveling. been around the world, different continents, want to add more countries to my list. So, never done with that. Let's talk a bit about the course now. Enough about me. So, what are we doing with this course? We are definitely preparing you for a career, right? Doesn't matter if you're a finance major or a banking major, you're going to have to maybe work for an investment bank and decide what companies to recommend to your clients, or managing an ETF and deciding where to make trades. That will involve some financial statement literacy, right? If you're a banker, you're gonna have to, maybe you're a loan officer, you're gonna have to decide who to give loans to. That will require financial statement literacy, right? Accountants, most certainly. I mean, financial accounting is the backbone of accounting. You can do financial on its own, but you really can't do any other area of accounting without knowing some financial. So to me, it's sort of the trunk of the tree of accounting. Now, we're going to give you those basic journal entries. I hate them. I hated them. It almost turned me off of accounting. Um, but accounting goes deeper than that. That was what my eventual dissertation chair really kind of unveiled for me, is that we're not just talking about journal entries. We're talking about information and packaging information. And we're talking about information that literally creates billions of dollars of implications in US markets. I mean, that's a lot to be responsible for. And that's what really ignited my interest in accounting. So we're going to go beyond the journal entries and we're going to try to see what the journal entries create, which is the financial statements, right? But there's a process. Really, accounting is not a study of numbers, it's a study of processes, how we process data and get it into a form that is usable by investors and creditors. To wit, to really deepen our understanding, we also need to understand that investors have perceptions of how managers are reporting, and different reporting choices by managers that are allowable under US GAAP can give investors different perceptions, right? Accounting is not a black and white practice. It is rules driven, but not completely subsumed by rules. There will be cases where there are numerous options for reporting information, um, creating and calculating estimates, and they are all allowable under GAAP, not fraudulent at all. So we really need to understand accounting isn't quite as black and white as you might have thought and that society believes it is. Another thing accounting is not, and man, this was a hard lesson for me. It is not a passive learning experience. I was very much that student that read the text, sometimes attended class, studied 2 nights before a test, got a B or an A on the test. Boom, done. When I got to my master's level accounting courses, not the intro, no, not an intro. Intro is it's off the table. It's one of the easier courses, right? But when I got into intermediate, I really had to start working. It did not work for me to just passively watch the professor work problems, read the text. I had to work the problems. I had to take that ownership. So, in that vein, this is probably for many of you going to be the first class you really have to work hard in. And that can create frustration, some resentment. Just understand it's part of this particular course. The more problems, this is the upshot, the more problems you work, the more connections you'll make. And it will lead to improvement that I have not seen in many other courses through working problems. So, yes, there is a lot of personal sweat equity you're going to have to put and invest into this course. But if you do it and you do it methodically and consistently, you should be rewarded with the grade you need. So, if you're at home, well, you are at home, sorry. This is kind of this one that I wrote more for the classroom. But you're at home, when you're watching videos, don't have the TV on. Don't be looking at your phone. It's going to distract you. Be present, be focused. You'll spend less time focusing and drilling down on what you're doing, whether that's watching videos, working problems, and understand that all of these things are meant to assist you in learning the material and doing well on the exams. So let's talk about the online classroom. They're a great convenience, right? Excellent opportunity, but use with caution. And the caution is you got to make sure you're ready to self-initiate. I never took an online course because I knew it was going to be a big ask for me to reach out to professors by email when I wasn't even doing it face to face, right? But I needed something. I needed that face to face to make me work and be like, oh crap, I'm behind. I need to work, right? And an online course, shoot, I could not watch a video for a week. And then all of a sudden, I'm a week behind. And then I got to watch the videos from last week and this week. And oh man, I'd have made a mess of it. So don't let that be you. Please don't let that be you. Get started on things. In the course schedule, I have a sort of blow by blow of what you should be focused on each week. Make sure you are attending to that as tightly as you can and reaching out if you're having issues or you're not sure what to do. And the reaching out is pivotal. We got to communicate, communicate, communicate. Email me, schedule. I have scheduled Zoom meetings that are on the syllabus every week. You can make additional Zoom meetings for office outside of those hours. Whatever we can do, let's try to make it happen for you. All right. So, a couple high level things about this course. You come to me with a mixture of talent and knowledge and goals, right? We got different majors in here. We got people that made C's in intro. We got people that made A's in intro. I'm trying to bring it all together and teach to the middle. It's tough, but bear with me. The best way to handle this is for you to tell me how things are going for you and what you need help with. Understand that I am not a participant in the great grade inflation scheme of America. Okay, making everyone feel good by telling them they got an A, right? So an A is a mark of true distinction. A C is not a mark of failure. If I give you a C, that means you know enough. I hope to, and I say I give you, if you earn a C in my course, then I hope you have the tools available to do okay in intermediate two. My warning is if you're an accounting major or if you are just intending on taking intermediate two, a C is a scary place to be. Quite honestly, it's a scary place to be. It just means you're going to have to work a lot harder to maintain that C in intermediate two. So, really put your all into this course, learn it, learn it, learn it. It'll set you up for success in intermediate two and advanced. Another small note, if you are a banking or finance major, you do not need a C in this course for it to count. If you can make it, you can graduate with a D in this course. You just have to take cost accounting rather than intermediate two. But if you made a D, I certainly wouldn't recommend intermediate two. All right. So just understand you don't have to make a C in this course to graduate with a finance or banking degree. Finally, and kind of dovetailing with everything I said, that just do not be afraid to tell me about a shortcoming you have. I will not judge you for it. I am here to help you master this. That is my job. That is what pays my bills. That's what keeps me living, right? And I enjoy connecting with students and getting those aha moments when things make sense. So please do not hesitate to reach out. Do not apologize for reaching out. If you shoot me an email and I do not get back with you in 24 hours, please follow up. I have a ton of emails coming through. Sometimes they slip through the cracks. It happens. Just say, "Hey, I sent this and I didn't hear back from you." I'll get on it and apologize profusely as soon as I can. And the final note about that is just do it as quick as possible. Like when you feel overwhelmed, we need to talk, okay? Because this semester is 15 weeks packed into 10 weeks. And if you wait to mid-July, sorry, not July, good now, mid-June, we're almost halfway through the course, okay? I do not take anything out of this course from the regular semesters. So if you thought, well, I'll take this during the summer when it's going to be easier, it's not easier. Okay. This is a time to jump in and work hard for all 10 weeks. And finally, expectations for you guys. Hey, stay on top of video watching and working problems. Falling a week behind is a recipe for disaster. I'm not saying you can't pull it out. I'm just saying it's going to be tough. All right. Work these problems, watch these videos with a learning mindset. You can look at it as a to-do list where you're just checking boxes. Oh, got 100 on that assignment. Well, that's great. Did you learn anything from it? What did you take away from it? Okay, look at these not as obstacles, but as opportunities to learn and enhance your knowledge so you can perform on tests. Always ask questions if you're confused about absolutely anything. And please avail yourself of any of these opportunities. Email me, come to scheduled Zoom meetings, schedule Zoom appointments outside of the Zoom meetings that I have scheduled. Please, I'm here to help you. Expectations of me? Well, you can expect me first to return emails in 24 hours. As I said, if I don't get to one, please follow up and just say, hey, you didn't respond and I just was curious, right? I will shoot one back to you as soon as possible. The only exception I'm going to put on that is there are certain times on the weekends I will not respond to an email because I'll be out doing things. So if you send me an email Saturday or Sunday, probably won't get to you until Monday. Okay, so shoot an email to me Friday, early in the afternoon so that I can get back to you on Friday. Otherwise, I might have to skirt it off until Monday. The second thing you can expect from me is a quick turnaround on your grading. I want to get grades back to you in no more than 5 days after a deadline. It should be reasonable. I usually do 7 days in face-to-face classes, but since we're working on, 10 weeks instead of 15, I'm shortening that window so I can get grades back to you quickly and you can get that feedback. And I promise to treat you three as much as I can. If you feel at any moment I'm not treating you with respect as a human being, let me know because it is not my intention. And again, just understand email and online courses that can get misread so easily. So let me know, and I will do everything I can to let you know I am here for you. I'm here to help, and I want to help. Right. The next video is going to be about the syllabus, and it's going to go a little bit more into the details of the course.